Is the minutes. They were sent via email. Any alteration or correction? Motion, John? Second. Scott, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
5-0. Okay. We have 11 claims totaling $29,096.19 for budget status of $206,689.75 for cash on hand. $173,124.76 with a $200,000 investment. Omnisource receipts, $2,300. Omnisource expenditures, $3,145 and a penny. I'll entertain a motion for the financials. Second from John. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
5-0. Okay. All right. We want the solid, we want the supervisor report first, or do you want to?
Doesn't matter. Yep.
We'll just have Mr. Kevin.
All right. Well, May, we had 1,215 vehicles through, and so far in June, 615.
Yeah, I see that.
And kind of a mid-year, almost mid-year report, and that brings the total for the year to right at 5,500 vehicles. Had one load of paper go to Energy Controls, that yielded about 1,000. Not sure if she's gotten a check for that yet. And metal cans and scrap metal for the years, 3 loads have yielded 1,500. And we've gotten credits of about $2,700 for the cardboard and paper that we send to Quincy against the freight charges and rental fees. And really, I got all I got to report.
Any questions for Kevin?
Did we ever figure out the ramp? Did your guy go look at the ramp?
He's the same guy that was going to do the concrete work at the courthouse plaza. He just told me he's going to do that within the next week. So hopefully by the end of this week or the next, I'll have something. So was kind of waiting for Bobby because I didn't want him to come from Greenwald just to do that. So. TV coupons, tire discussion.
Hi, Dick.
We'll just open this back up. I think I brought up that I had talked to Steuben. Steuben only does tire recycling spring and fall at their highway garage. And when they have somebody in South Bend, I think Jeff brought it up that there's a possibility something's going to be developing in Wabash County.
It's ways off. Yep.
When you say ways off.
Year and a half.
So that's quite a ways.
Yep.
So in Steuben, do they pay to have them
Yes.
removed?
Yes. Yep.
And the place that picks them up, they're in the business of recycling tires?
Yes.
Is that their-
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Liberty Tire. I haven't verified. I'm supposed to talk to the commissioner. If he doesn't come Wednesday at the library, I'll see him Friday because I have another issue when I go up and talk to him over the weekend. So I'm gonna bring it back up to him again. But yeah, the highway department collects theirs, whatever they get in the ditches during the year. And he said the biggest thing is you don't advertise or plan ahead when you're going to do it so people can stockpile. And then when it happens, you advertise it and it's over with like in a week or a certain day, but you only give them less than a week's notice. And that's what he said.
And do they charge the residents to drop them off at the highway garage?
Yes. Yep. I think it's nominal $4 a tire or something like that. It's basically to cover your expense and maybe $1 extra or something like that.
And how long have they been doing that?
I'll get more information, but I think they've been doing it for 2 or 3 years.
Okay. I guess I'm just curious, have they seen that it's had an impact on, I'm assuming it would, right? I mean, Unless those are the same people who would dispose of their tires anyway.
Well, my biggest thing, a lot of these lakes that are in Steuben County have associations. So do people pitch them in the ditch or pitch them in the lake to hide them or whatever? And he says, no, it seems like what we get is only on the side roads. You know, the associations don't pull them in the lake if somebody dumps them or whatever. But,
I know every time we have a dumpster out, you can guarantee there's 15 to 20 tires in there. It's $10 a tire that I have to pay to get them disposed. So $4 seems like a bargain, but I think the people that are just throwing them, same guys that throw their swing sets and all their stuff in my dumpsters, they just get rid of them wherever it's easiest to get rid of them.
yeah.
So I hope it helps, but not sure it does.
Can you tell us what we collected Saturday? How many tires?
I can't, not yet.
Not yet.
But I will be able to.
Okay.
Then I'd hope we'd make sure that it's residents only, no tire shops or garages or anything like that.
There's a gentleman on Saturday that said a couple things. He said that the way he didn't like the idea of putting a dumpster out at the highway garage. He said there's companies that will purchase them. I'm sure you guys have checked all that out. So I'll just leave it at that. He made one other comment, but it has nothing to do with that. He thought we shouldn't have hazmat day on Father's Day weekend. He thinks it should change. Just told him I would bring that comment.
I would love to know who he knows that buys them, because I can't find anybody that buys them.
You know, I'm holding an umbrella and it's, you know,
Saying that somebody does and actually finding somebody that does is two different things.
that's right.
Michelin and those guys, I worked for BF Goodrich for a while. We paid to haul them to the dump because we couldn't find anybody to take clean, new tires
Right.
that were damaged, let alone nasty old tires with rims in them.
And water.
Yeah, I mean, at the highway department, if they're on a rim, we have the capability of our equipment to remove the rim, correct? From the tire, so we could do that separation, put them maybe in a section where the salt bin is, or salt tarp is, so they stay out of the moisture.
It's just the labor cost is all. It's, gotta factor that in. If we take them all in and it's $4, I don't know that $4 covers the cost to get somebody to take them and break them down.
Right, well, it might end up being $6 a tire by when it's all said and done, or more, I don't know.
Or 12, yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Toners is $10 a tire.
Yeah, because when we had the discussion, Todd called me up specifically and said, hey, who are you working with to get your tires? And I said, we're just starting the process on the discussion side of it.
Because he wants to find.
Exactly, yeah, he's on, he's thinking ahead, so, if we can partner, fine, if we can't, that's fine too, but, we all want the ditches clean and to look better in the community.
Sounds like a good business, Scott. Get in the tire recycling business, make money at it somehow. I'm sure people,
Let me know how it goes.
I'm sure people would give them to
What
you.
do they say, if somebody did it, everybody would be
Maybe
doing
called
it.
Clean Rivers or something. Probably got a nice ring to Clean Fuels.
Right.
And, yeah, I haven't had anybody willing to take free TVs, so nobody is out there. I mean, it's all $20 to $35 a TV. It's been what I've been seeing as a range. So, I think the highway department just has a dumpster, and when they find stuff, they pitch in the dumpster, and then when it gets full, take it to the tonner.
Actually, I think tires are stacked behind the cold mix, isn't it?
I honestly don't know where the tires are.
Yeah, it's between the salt and the cold mix, just laying on the ground,
Okay.
stacked on the ground.
Where's our salt and sand supply? Are we in good shape or bad shape? I know we're going into off season. Is there room to put them out of the weather?
Just, picked them up off the roads.
September. I don't know, guessing, maybe?
We will need more salt and sand this year, so, I mean, we might be able to do something temporarily, you know.
Right. I
Just let me know. If I need to have that conversation.
I say we wait till we get a highway superintendent to
Exactly.
take tires.
Exactly. Totally agree. Well, to be visited again,
You're put on the next agenda?
unless somebody else can get more information or whatever. But it would be helpful that, if we have a new superintendent, that he's not blindsided by an additional responsibility we haven't discussed, so maybe it can be brought up in another interview, so. So, talk budget, Lisa.
Okay, in your packet, you have 2026 budget form. This is just for the wages that are going to be paid out of Wells County budgets that we reimburse them for. So the only thing on here are board members, which currently get $65 per meeting they attend. The controller, plant manager, labor, and laborers leave. I just need to know what you want to keep the same and what you want to change. Do you want, usually when Wells County passes their budget, you guys do exactly what they do. So if they would increase their board pay, then yours would probably be increased as well. They didn't increase it last year, they kept everybody at $65. So I just need you to know what you need to put on this to submit to the county.
I'm okay still at 65,
Yeah,
if
me too.
everybody else is, and
I don't have a problem.
and if council chooses to alter that, that would, I'll let them at their discretion.
Yep.
Were you looking at putting an increase for wages for 2026?
Did they go in the matrix last time?
The only one on the matrix is the super
Kevin,
plant manager.
did we go 3%, I think, or 2.5%?
I thought it was something like that.
Last year, we were 3%, I think.
Okay.
If you gave 2.5% raise to the employees and kept your board the same, it would be a total budget of $121,668,000. Last year was 118. If you did 3%, it's 123,519.
I'd make a motion for 3%.
What's the city, what do you guys, do you have an increase yet this year? Haven't even talked about it.
Well, we could support the 3%. Again, the council, Mickey's here, to either support or whatever their discretion would be, would supersede, so.
Well, do we need a motion to submit it like that or not?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, okay.
So are we just basically making a recommendation to
Yes.
the council?
Exactly,
Yes.
yeah. And then council will make the final call.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
well, I think there's a
You're
motion
setting a
on,
budget that you can
Right.
submit to.
right,
there's a
right.
motion on the floor, right?
Correct.
3% increase.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion, all in favor?
I would like to say, what if, they determine to raise everybody, say 4%? Do you want it to go along with everybody else's rate, or do you want
I
it to?
I think it would at
stay-
that point, a recommendation, they could reject the recommendation and make it 4, and then that's what it is, which I think is probably how that would play out.
I mean, that's normally what we do, is we go kind of
Yeah.
across the board, but
I would come back here and say,
Yeah.
council did 4%.
Yeah, you want to keep it 3 or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or you could amend the motion simply to say, we recommend 3%, but we are happy if county council wishes to provide a higher level based upon their salary ordinance.
I'm happy
follow.
to amend my motion to include that.
You want to second
what
that,
if it's
Scott?
lower?
I'm sorry.
What if it's lower? What if they approve 2.5%? Do you want to just do whatever the recommendation is from the county council, and that's?
Yeah,
It's just a recommendation.
yeah. They'll do with what they want.
We'll say
You guys can do what-
3%, or if the council chooses
We're not
whatever.
gonna fight. It'll come back to us.
Mike's got the motion.
Second.
Scott?
I'll second the amended.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 5-0. Alright. And last, the
Hazardous
wet,
Waste Day update. Vicki was there with me. Scott assisted with the entrance, and Stephanie came later. Kevin was there. It was a wet day. We had
It was
391 cars.
How
So,
does that compare to previous days in terms of number of cars?
we usually have a hair over 400.
Okay, so
We did it on Father's Day, that's why.
That's why, Father's Day.
my sister was coming, but somebody stole her window air conditioner, she was gonna donate or drop off. So,
Really?
yeah, she called me up, says, did you pick it up? And I said, nope, it's going. One less car.
It was,
Save you some gas money.
we had a different, the same company, but they were bought out. So things were a little bit confusing. They had some trailers, so we just sent them through the line and then they would tell people if they needed to move on up. I thought all that, we weren't as busy at first. I mean, we were busy, but you know how the line is usually really long? I think the rain just detoured some of that. I think at 11 o'clock, then we kind of got busier, and people thought maybe they'd load up their truck then. We had some appliances late on. I felt like they had several appliances later on. But all in all, we tried to stay dry, and it went well. I mean, Lynn came and took care of the medication and sorted that. That was a big help. Just worked away.
So your recommendation is not Father's Day next year?
I don't care. The gentleman told me that, and I told him I would bring it to the board. So that's it doesn't bother me one way or the other, honestly.
I'm trying to think, I think it's been Father's Day weekend in all my
Yeah,
12 years that I've,
We have it this weekend every year,
yeah.
so we just kind of are on the schedule.
Well, and I thought, really, to change something like that, sometimes with the production that they have to put on, the
Right.
hazmat people, sometimes that's difficult for them to change, because maybe they have a normal schedule of what they run by.
Sure.
But I told him I would bring it, so I did.
You did your job.
I did.
Duly noted. Excellent.
The only problem we had that day, and for some reason, we put out pylons like crazy, but people seem to just drive crazy through that parking lot, part of it. It was just.
Just
I
run
thought
them
I was
over.
gonna get run over at one time. There was a gentleman, he just couldn't get it. He about ran over the pylon, and then he about ran over me. So, it's interesting. Keeps you on your toes.
All right. Anything else? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right, got a motion.